Hello, 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 how are you? This is Elf, and I'm coming to you from Bemis Crafty Corner, which is this place. And we're going to be doing a project today using these. Now, you can use just, chipboard if that's what you have. But I'm going to use these for no particular reason or purpose. I'm just going to use them. And these are, I just recently found these. They're brand new at the Dollar Tree. And they are 8x8 artist canvas. So I'm going to be using these today and some file folders. You can also do this with some 12x12 if you have 12x12 that you'd like to use up. So I'm going to go ahead and get out my supplies, and I'll be right back with a list, and we're going to get started. Be right back. Tools for this one. You're going to want adhesive. You're going to want scoring tools, probably a scoring board. If you don't have these, that's okay. You can make do with just a ruler. Let's see. You can use 12x12 cardstock if you'd like. You can use 8.5x11, but it's a little tight. A paper trimmer. I will be using file folders today, probably file folders and paper. And then you're going to want 2 pieces of 8x8 for your cover. Now this can be these canvas boards, or it can be chipboard, or whatever it is that you have. And also, paper to cover this. So something a little lighter, perhaps. And let's see, anything else? There'll be some other things, but we'll talk about those as we go through. So I'm going to clear the desk, and I'll be back. We're going to start cutting some pages to get started. I'll be right back. So I'm just going to start cutting down file folders first. And the reason I'm going to start with these is because I want to get these out of the way. Okay? So we're going to cut these from the fold at about 8 1/4. Okay? And then our height is going to be 7 3/4. So 8 1/4 by 7 3/4. That's what we're looking for here. And we want to cut as many of these as we want pages. So I'm going to cut a few. And I'm going to do these 2 at a time. And then when I come back, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to be doing it with the paper, this graphic paper. And that will make life a little easier, because I could use a smaller cutter for that. So, okay, so 8 1/4 by 7 3/4. Okay, so 8 1/4. 7 3/4. Plus, it's easier for me to do this on this board because I have this bottom rail here is set for one measurement, and then I can visualize the other one. All right, so now that I have these cut, I'm going to put them to the side. I'm going to get this big trimmer out of the way, and I will be right back. So if you're using regular cardstock 12x12, you are going to want to trim that to 7 3/4. And you're going to want an even number of pages. So we're going to trim this first to 7 3/4. And then we're going to trim the other pieces. So keep the rest of this stuff, because this stuff is great. Works for pockets and backing tags and stuff. So we want to keep the rest of our cardstock. I'm going to try and do 2 at a time. So 7 3/4, because that's going to give me just a little bit of room on the inside. And then I know, oddly enough, the other cut is longer, and I'll explain that. Okay. So I have all of those, and then I'm going to cut these to 8 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. When I come back, we're going to have all of our pieces together, and then we're going to go ahead and get started on the next step, which is going to be scoring. I'll be right back. So if you're using the file folders, we have to do a little bit of a prep here. On every single one, we have to take a 1/2 inch off of one side, okay? Just off the one side, 1/2 inch. Okay, so I'm going to do that on here because it'll make it easier. And for consistency, I'm taking my 1/2 inch off the same side. I'm taking it off the side that has the little score lines on it. Then we're going to score everything. Okay. Now again, you could use double-sided cardstock to do this if you want to. You could use single-sided cardstock. You could use 8 1/2 by 11 paper because you're going to cut it down below that. So there's a lot of options for this one. All right, let's get rid of this guy. And I'm going to convert this over to a scoreboard. And then I'm going to bring in my paper. And what we want to do is we want to score at a 1/2 inch, just a 1/2 inch. On each one of these, and we're scoring on the side that's 8 1/4. Okay. We're going to get all of these done, and then we're going to do the same thing on those, but we're going to score these on the long one. Same thing, 1/2 inch. I know it's so weird, I'm doing 2 at the same time. We'll stop that in a second. I'm just doing that for this purpose of, you know, kind of showing everybody. And it doesn't matter if there's writing on these. We just want to make sure that we get that score on the longer of the two sides, okay? That's it. I'm going to clean this mess up. I'll be right back. So for the paper, you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to fold these on your score line. And then you're just going to attach. So here's my score line. It's folded up towards me. I'm going to take my glue. And if my glue is going to work, and it is, yay! I'm going to put some glue on here. And then with the flap facing down on this one, I'm going to go ahead and put it on. And the reason I'm doing this in alternation is because you have to have these alternating. If you want it to do an accordion flip. So now I have this one over here. Adhesive. I'm going to lay this one on. And my fold is going down. We're going to bring this one up. And then I'm going to open that. Bring in my next one, which I want to go this way. So fold up. And attach. And I'm just going to keep doing this. And like I said, it doesn't really matter because you can just refold this in the direction that you want to. Fold, fold, glue, page, put that over, glue it down. All right, so I'm going to finish gluing all of these together. Getting this all straight. And once I have this all glued together and it's all straight, I will come back and we're going to talk about, you know, the last bit. All right, so go glue your pages together. Doesn't really matter which direction, you just fold it the other way if it's the wrong direction. This isn't rocket science, okay? All right. And then I'm going to put some clips on this to hold it because I want to give this glue a chance to set up. And when I come back, we're going to move on and work on the file folder version and get this together, okay? So I'll be back in just a minute. So I need to make my end page. So what I'm going to do is put this in, and I'm just going to trim off the fold. Get rid of that. And then I'm going to take one side of this, and I'm going to cut it to 7 3/4. So I'm going to have a piece that is 7 3/4 by 7 3/4. This is my end page, and I'm going to glue it to my last flap. Okay? Let me get this the right measurement. 7 3/4. 7 3/4. Okay. So now I'm going to glue this one onto the back, the last flap. Okay. So let me get this down. And then we're going to talk about how we're going to attach this inside of the covers. But first, we are going to cover the covers. All right. I got a little bit here that's a little off. So I'm just going to trim that. There we go. Looks good. Okay, this to the side. We're going to bring the covers in. So what we're going to do with the covers is we're going to cover these very much like we do when we're doing a corset binding or a Belgian binding. So I'm going to get the plastic off. There we go. And once I have the plastic off, I am going to set these with the backs facing up. I'm going to be covering this with paper. Now you can use any kind of paper that you want. You can use solid cardstock. You can use fabric if you want to. It is entirely up to you. But I'm going to be using some paper today, so I'm going to be getting that out. Obviously, I'm going to be using some 12 by 12. I'm going to be getting that out and getting that started to cover, and then we're going to go ahead and put the whole thing together. I'll be right back. All right, so we're using an 8 by 8 cover, so I'm going to cut some 12 by 12 down to 10 by 10. And I'm just using this wood grain because, well, it's very neutral. Okay, so 10 by 10. And then we're going to be covering this the easy way. So we're going to take a piece, and we're going to take one of our cover boards. Now you could paint this if you want to. You could do whatever you want to this cover. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this on, and I'm going to mark it. I apologize for that. Sometimes people don't understand the whole I don't do things on Monday. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and mark this in the corners. And the reason I'm doing that is so that I can put glue on here. So I'm going to get out my big glue. And I am just going to put glue. Hold on. Let me mute my computer. Inside of those marks. Okay? And then I'm going to put this back on here inside my marks so that I know I've got glue kind of all over that. Turn it over, press that. Now you could use your brayer on this if you want to, or, you know, a credit card, you know, whatever, just to kind of move that around. And then we're going to let that dry before we do the rest. So I'm going to do the other one as well, and then I'll be back when they're dry. All right, so now that we have these glued down, we're going to wrap them. And so to do that, we're just going to kind of wedge in and out. Wedge in towards the corner, don't quite hit it, and come out. We're going to do that on all four corners. On both pieces, obviously, because we are going to fold these in. And I'm going to let the board do the folding for me. So I'm just going to kind of fold it over, top and bottom first, and sides. Then the sides. And this way what I'm doing is I'm just letting the paper kind of roll. So I want my wood grain to go up and down on the book. So this will be my top and bottom. So we're going to glue these down first. And then I'm going to glue in the side flaps. I'm going to do this on both pieces. And then I'm going to give it some time to dry. And when it's dry, I'll come back. And then we're going to go ahead and attach our journal to this, our book. So I'll be back in just a few minutes. All right. So this is dry. Our covers are dry. We're going to make sure that we have these going in the same direction. We want our grain, our picture to go in the right direction. If we have a picture, if it's just a random pattern, you can do whatever you want. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue on this all the way. And I'm making sure that it's the one that goes to the left. Now, as always, all of the measurements and everything will be in the description. So, and if you get lost, just go back and watch, that part again. I always put in the chapters to make it easier for you to find what it is you're looking for. All right, so we have a good healthy amount of glue on here. And we are going to turn this over and put it in the center of our cover. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to add glue, and then we're going to sandwich this thing. And as I said, you can add as many inside pages as you want. You can do 10, 20, 30, as many as you want, because there's no real binding on this, okay? So I'm going to put some clamps on this, or some rubber bands, and let it dry. And then when I come back, I'm going to show you what this looks like. I'll be back. Okay, so this is dry. So we're going to go ahead and take off these rubber bands. And then this is our book. Okay, but it goes both ways. So I have a nice big page here, and here, and here. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16 pages out of 5 file folders, 4 file folders, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 file folders, 16 pages. So that is my flip-flop. What a great way to keep recipes, and this is gonna lay flat, because there's no spine. There's no spine on this one, okay? That's it. That's my flip-flop journal. So if you have any questions, put them in the comment section below, or instant message me or email me, and I will get back to you. All of that information is in the description. Also, think about subscribing to my Patreon, or you could go over to my Ko-Fi and follow me over there. You can get free digitals. You could take a look at the community tab here on the YouTube channel and find out if there's anything that interests you. I post all videos, tutorials, and everything else to that list in the community tab, so you'll know what's coming up. I am going to go decorate this, and I'm off. So until I see you again, stay well, my friends. Bye.